Hello, my movie nerds. Welcome back. Thank you for deeming me worthy of your next 10 to 15 minutes so that I can blab on about a movie that you may or may not care about. But I am grateful, as always, that you guys are deeming me worthy of that time. And thank you to all the continuous support on the comment section and in Instagram. The voicemails are my favorite, so please continue to send those. Those have been fun. I'm very surprised how many people I've become friends with who who have other accents that have strong accents that let me know they are not from the US, and I love that because it just means that my videos are reaching to the right audience. The algorithm is finding you and bringing us together, and I love that we get to talk about movies and just nerd out. I hate the word review, and I hate the word critic, but it helps the algorithm. That's the only reason I use them. But I'm just here to shoot the shit with y'all, so I appreciate you guys shooting the shit with me and just being so sweet and so humble and so fucking cool. So as always, I never take that for granted. Now, all the gratitude and love out of the way, let's talk about our movie today. It's a Netflix ass movie, and I contemplated whether I should even review it or not, just because it's such a Netflix ass movie. What the fuck would I have to say? But in honor of maintaining the one review every day, I'm going to review this film, but I'm going to let you know it is a Netflix ass film. Let me know if you've seen this movie. It's been out for a day. I caught it late, so I'm reviewing it right now. It's 5 in the morning. I'm sure some of you have already watched it. So I might just be, validating more of what you're thinking out loud. I am your internal monologue. So the movie that we're going to review tonight, this morning, holy shit, it's that I got to stop doing this. So the movie we're going to review right now is called Apex. This director has done a myriad of films, I think over 22, but the ones that are familiar to me are Two Guns and Beast, one with Idris Elba defending his family against a wild lion. And then the other one is Two Guns that came out in the 2010s with Denzel Washington and Marky Mark, where they're two soldiers working to stop a cartel that's working through a military base. Yeah, it's definitely like a low B grade action film, but carried by Denzel and Marky Mark's charisma, mostly Denzel, of course. And so going into this movie, I wasn't necessarily like super hyped for it, but the concept and the story that I was sold in the trailer seemed simple enough that you couldn't fuck it up and it would just be fun. This movie, Apex, starts Charlize Theron and also Taron Egerton, who I feel, like Timothy Oliphant, is so underrated. Every time he's in something, I'm like, this guy just loses himself. Like, ever since Kingsman, he hasn't stuck to like just the, gentleman pretty boy scripts. Like, he does so many things. Just last year, he made a film called She Rides Shotgun based on a book, and it came out in January. And that movie, I went out of my way to go to a theater 3 hours away to watch it because I just had a feeling it was gonna fucking rock, and it did. It made it on my top 10 of last year in terms of like best films, and it's him protecting his daughter after he breaks out of prison from a gang of Nazis that are after him. And it's so emotional, and the violence is gritty and dark, but there's moments of genuine care and love between him and his daughter that he's trying to fix his relationship. And it's just, he carries that movie so well. So definitely watch that if you haven't. But anything Taron's in, I'll watch, no matter if it's a Netflix ass movie or not. And sure enough, he was the best part of this film. The story is very basic. I mean, it's super basic. It almost feels like committee, like this script was just laying in someone's binder, little black book of binders, and someone was just like, all right, we need something out. Grab a director that's on a payroll, have him shoot this, and that's it. And that's basically, this is such a like script by committee, such a product. Uh, and there is some fun to be had, but I feel like the fun is so diluted because there are so many opportunities to enhance just from a fun standpoint, not even from a big critical movie script standpoint, but just like if you're going to make a simple movie like this, where it's a woman in an Australian forest running away from a psychopath whose only intent is to cause harm, and not even just cause harm, because he goes out of his way to make her run and gives her the length of his song of a song that he's playing for her to like have a head start, and then he chases her and he gives her provisions and he does all these to make sure she can survive, almost like he's testing himself. And that concept is already, it's so simple, but it's interesting. I mean, if you get two leads and the characters are strong enough and they're distinct enough, all you got to worry about is keeping the pace going, keeping the tension going, maybe it's one twist to really just kind of switch it up in the middle of the film, and then end it with a very crazy climactic end, and then have yourself a story arc for the character where there's a lesson that's learned, and that's it. Like that could have, that it's your movie. But you enhance the details, you enhance everything to feel hyper realized and stylistic and grounded and bloody, and this movie just kind of dilutes all that to its bare bones. Once she goes on the run, the whole movie is pretty much a chase, her going through, falling into the river rapids and uh, hiding behind big boulders of rock, and just somehow this guy always catches up to her. Inevitably leads to a confrontation. There is a twist, or sort of a revelation about this killer that doesn't really go anywhere, but it would have been really cool if it did, because the revelation itself visually was cool. But this is the thing, man. The movie just relies on chase sequences the entire time to keep you going. I have no problem with that. Please, it's a movie. Get me excited, get me going. But there's so many moments where there are CG effects just thrown into someone falling down a hill. You got stuntmen for that. I've worked with stuntmen. They can do that. They can fall. You didn't need CGI Charlize Theron to fall. You could have just gotten a real stunt woman. Like that would have been cool. That would have been, when you can't even ground me in like something as real as just her falling. I'm like, what are we, this is so lazy, dude. Like, it's part of the excitement. All you have is the violence and the extremes that come with like fighting in the forest, the disorientation of not knowing where you are, falling down hills and mountains and try to swerve from the trees. That's all you have. Like the physicality of this movie is what makes it exciting. And you made Charlize Theron an Avatar character from Pandora. The shit was kind of rough. They do this again too when she's like under the water swimming, and I'm like, again, you have stuntmen to do this. You could have you have an entire squad of stuntmen who can work as safety scuba men, who just go under there, make sure nothing happens to you, and then they can themselves do it. You can also like create your own river in some warehouse or whatever, but at the very least, like, make it look real, keep the CGI, keep the CGI out, and keep everything practical, because nature is, the dangers of nature are the roots of horror in this, among the killer himself. When the killer's not the focus, it's the environment, and that you should feel exhausting and tiring, like she's crawling and fighting for her life. And when the CG kicks in, I'm just like, that sucks. The movie does have moments that work. Like the first time we meet this killer, we realize that at the beginning of the movie, they have an interaction that's very civil at a gas station, as you tend to have in horror movies, where that stalker eventually is going to stalk you. It's always at a gas station, or it's always somewhere like at a rest stop or something, where they just help out the main character, and they seem so humble and so sweet, and that they're just thinking about how they're going to gut them 3 ways from Sunday. And we get all that, but what's cool about Taron is that he's chewing up the screen with such childlike glee and wonder that I just enjoyed his parts the most. They showed on the trailer where he puts a speaker down. He's got a crossbow with him, and he's telling her, you have till the end of this song to run. You have a head start, go. And we're cutting to her just, running, cutting through the forest, and then we're cutting to him, and he's just hyping himself up, like having the best time. And I'm like, kind of like this dude. Like he's cool as fuck. Like he's fun to watch. Like, sure, he's a psychopathic fuck, but he's like enjoying his profession. He's just having fun, and he kept the movie from being dull. There's not much in the way of inventive action sequences, but towards the halfway mark, we do have this shift. Well, not the shift, but we have this revelation about the character, that he is, spoiler alert, if you watch enough movies in your life, then you've caught on to this like 5 minutes into the film, where our main character is looking at a wall at a national park welcome center, and it says people are missing. obviously he did it, and we get to see what he does with them, and what he's not just like he kills them and that's it. No, he does things to them. He does things to them, and he deforms his body. And I'm keeping this vague in case you do want to see it. You know, if you're having a quiet night, you're like, you just want to see something, whatever, and you put this on. I don't want to spoil too much of what is really there to spoil, but you do realize what he does to these bodies go far beyond just killing them. There's something to do with what he does after them, after he's killed them. And then there's also something that he does to his body that helps him do the things he does to the victims after they're dead. And I thought like, oh, that was cool because he mentioned earlier how tribes do this. And it kind of gives you a little bit of history about him, because you don't get to know a lot, but it seems like he's fascinated with the need to survive. And so he has this thing he does that he takes from tribes, that he took from a lesson of reading about tribes, and he implemented it into his body. I won't tell you what it is, but it was like cool. And I was like, I thought it was going to go somewhere, but it kind of just goes right back to where we were before that. So it doesn't change the story. We do have a pretty decent hand-to-hand fight with him and Charlize, and the movie just kind of ends. And it's just such a like movie. It's very hard to recommend for fun's sake. It is very much disposable. So you remember how I told you that Humans, the double feature that I reviewed yesterday, if you're a person that scrolls, right, if you're a girl or guy that scrolls while watching movies, that's not the movie you want to do it with, you can 100% do it with this movie. I recommend you might want to. Luckily, it's very short. It moves pretty fast, and it does just enough to keep you entertained, but there's just nothing particularly special. I also found Charlize Theron's character, who's supposed to be like this extreme survivalist, this extreme sports lover, who, by the way, suffers a tragedy, of course, at the beginning because, she, as all these films start, someone needs to suffer a tragedy that keeps them from climbing mountains ever again, so they need to do other stuff. She suffers a tragedy. The tragedy is I can't speak English. We kind of see her grieve the entire film, and obviously grief is very hard, but there are different ways to handle it other than just being kind of disconnected all the time from how you react with people and how you speak to people. I mean, she was also kind of a piece of shit to her husband, which already made her unlikable. And then she's just so when she's being a piece of shit to everybody else, I'm like, well, you were already a piece of shit to your husband, like in a way, and now you're a piece of shit to people around you. This isn't a grief thing. You're just the problem. So I don't know. That kind of that was a weird character choice, and it made her kind of unlikable. So the whole time I was just rooting for the killer. And you might find yourself also rooting for the killer. So, yeah, man, that's my review for today. Simple one. I was okay watching this movie. I was very indifferent, but tomorrow is another day, and hopefully I bring you something of magic. But that is it, guys. Thank you for watching this video, and as always, you already know I'm dorky as fuck, and it's cringy as hell, but I love saying it. I'll see you guys at the movies.